Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are going to be taking a look at the first challenge of Kingdom Legendary War. I have had the worst time trying to get this franchise of a show onto YouTube in any capacity. Road to Kingdom was a total bust, so we are giving it a try with Legendary War because I did notice some reactors were able to get some of their reactions onto YouTube, so we're gonna also try on this end. So if you see this on YouTube, we did it in some way, but I am excited to at least attempt to try to get these out because I really enjoyed this season. Yes, I did take a look at the full episodes as well, so I have a lot of refined feedback based off of what I had spoken about in these challenges throughout the show. Also keep in mind I am coming straight off of Road to Kingdom for this show, as well as a lot of my feedback is pertaining to things and elements that I had seen from previous challenges or from the full episode. So context may be a little bit different depending on where you watch this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, BTOB, 그리워하다. Ooh, welcome to the forest. Happy for it. Yo. Yo, they're in a forest. That's so cool.
없이 안 될 것 같은 내가 이렇게 살아. 근데 좀 허전해. 난 여전히 거기 있나 봐. 마음은 여전해. 아직 너를 원해. 내년이 지나도 난 아직 널 그리워해. 난 아직 기억해. 우리 처음 봤을 때 네 욕처럼 커버린 스타일도 다 정확하게. I pray for you every night and day. I hope that someday soon I can see you once again. Yeah. 내 마음속에 너를 그리워하다 하루가 다 지났어. 너를 그리워하다 1년이 가버렸어. 난 그렇게 살아. 너를 그리워하다 장에서 깨어 헝클어진 머리처럼 내 일상도 그냥 엉망이 돼버렸어. 책임져 아무렇지 않은 적들이 원한 표정들 모든 곳에 스며든 내 흔적도 다 책임져. 아직도 널 잊을 수 없나 봐. 다시 돌아와줘. 또다시 같은 엔딩이라 해도 너
Okay, so from the top, we do get to see more dancing from them here. We gotta talk about this environment setter right here. This is crazy. Like the lighting, I'm telling you, lighting means everything. It means everything. Look at how this was lit. The fog too, we gotta give props to the fog. Like this is incredible setup. Honestly, I love this intro more than the boys intro. This was really, really dope. Super cool. Right here you see him basically in the sheer. Love the little ripple effect. So it comes up. Love that moment. Doon, doon, doon. Drop it down. Love it. Usage of the dancers. So cool. They take it, so I don't think they have waterfall sleeves, but they're giving off the intention similar to that. So we don't know what that is. Did you ever see those dresses? It's like a goose something. It's a particular Asian traditional dress, and it has these really long sleeves, and you see it whenever people do a lot of folk, Chinese folk sometimes, but I know this is Korean, so you have more of a Hanbok influence, but they would take the sleeves and throw them, and that's like a little part of the element of the dance. And so here they're using the sheets to do that, and I really love that, and everyone's slightly different. Great environmental setter. Like the lighting is divine here. And I think they ran into a similar problem that Icon did in terms of the lighting. There were some times that the lighting didn't really help with the environment, and some camera shots didn't really help with the environment either. And we'll talk about it as we encounter it. That's the killer for a lot of this. Like, because if you think about it, go back, like the best example I can give of when that had an incredible presence without the usage of environmental props was Stray Kids in their intro challenge. They had the LED screens and they had the floor LEDs and they had two props, and both handheld, both personal. They didn't have all this extra stuff. So, and that would be still just as competitive if it were in this challenge. So, and it comes from the lighting and how the camera was shot. Yes, so a lot of that goes from who has better people on their team that can advocate for better camera shots, because even with on and off, where they're set with it's raining with rain, they had these little drape curtains and they had confetti, and it was environmental and freaking sick usage of props and usage of their camera op. That's what really helps with that one. So going back to here, like this whole beginning is sick. The pool right there with the throws. Drop it around. Of course, when you have people move through the fog, it's going to dissipate. So I understand that. Now here, we're in a different environment, different person. I love the flower formation, looks great. So you have all of this around them. Like, it's so cool. He's around as well, super fun. He's like the little like middle of a flower, super dope. Like the trees that is so freaking cool to me. I love it. Bringing it around. Da-na. I love it bringing through. So we're maintaining mostly like an aerial shot through this, and we're not really rotating it around or doing anything like that. So it's a mix of that. You see the type of camera it is. Bringing it through. I love that right there. And now we panned over to something different. Now this was really cool. So he's walked out. Really cool way to showcase. But look, and this is the tricky part, is that you can very clearly see the dancers in the back. Does that take away from this? Personally, no. But if you also look here too, is you can very clearly see these lights up here. And yes, you can see it in other routines for sure. And this lights is not as distracting as what you would see from whenever you saw Icon set, right? Theirs felt more distracting because a lot of the lights didn't match the ambiance that they were going for, the actual type of light that they're doing for environment. Here in this case, that's fine. I feel like with all of the groups, you saw some form of like behind the curtain where you ain't supposed to see that. Like with the boys, it was you saw the production staff behind that fire, right? That can take away from it. Here in this case, you can see the lights up here and you can see the dancers back here instead of just appreciating the visuals. So I really love these little dividers. It's super cool. And he's come out. Love that. Going through. And then we bring it through. Of course, you saw the people move up, so it was a mix of a camera timing, but also the lighting timing on that. Because the thing for them is what's really important is how it's staged, because they don't have a lot of choreography. The dancers do, but they themselves don't. So it'll be harder for them on the performance side if they don't have proper, like, really good lighting to help them, prop usage if they use it, or camera op. I think the camera and the lights are really big determining factors on how some of these are turning out, because I honestly, if we want to talk about Road to Kingdom, I think that was one of their things, was some of the camera choices were not helping them, and how things were set up and the props were not efficient, you know. So I think it's a mixed bag of all of that. And you have, now we've entered into more like a boy R&B kind of aesthetic, and I love this vibe right here, but notice where we're at with the camera, where we can see clearly where the LED stops. So it's really important for a group like BTOB to have really good camera work. It's for us to appreciate what scene they want to be set in. Honestly, LED screen is enough sometimes to really get us in an environment. But if the camera's not in the right spot, we're kind of exposed to it's an LED screen and not we're in a beautiful forest. You know what I mean? Like, that's beautiful. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. It could be how the dividers are placed and all of that, but I like the environment it's set on it. It would have been cool to have the dancers behind the divider, just like you saw earlier whenever you saw P-Nail do his section. Like, there's little choices that could have been re-advocated for here, and just have fog the whole time. Have that baby pumping. You can have flower petals fall here. Like, there's a lot of those little choices. Now, here's the thing. I know I'm speaking all like hypothetical. Yes, with budget. But there's certain things that you can, like, I feel like that every group normally gets. Like, most groups normally get fog at some point. They get usage of a confetti of some kind, right? And then everyone gets access to the same lighting system too, right? Yes, you have pyrotechnics. Everyone's got those pyrotechnics too. So all that to say, I feel that with some groups, like, what really helped the boys in their environment wasn't just the LEDs, it was the snow that fell, right? It was a very clear indicator of that, and the usage of the blue lights, and the type of blue light that was dispelled. Here, I love all of this. You notice that it's a different type of coloring. Flower petals would have been really cool here to help encompass what was going on in the back of the LEDs. You see everything move and walk away, so it makes sense why they may not have done that little shadow box on this, because you have people obviously behind it. It would be hard to really see this, but look, even right there, you have a little opening in the gap. It could just be because of just how it's set up and the rolls. Rolling it through, the walk away is fun. Nice to appreciate the singing and the little elements, you know, the usage of the type of knots that's being used. Super fun. All the overlap of the wardrobes are really cool. And it pans over there, and it pans over to the new environment. Now, could they have done from here, bah, like, not the camera all going over, but it blacks out, bah, it goes up, and then it just, I don't know. I think a pan over was the most effective way to showcase our two environments? No, I don't feel so, but that's my personal preference. But look at this, look at the fog, really cool. Now look what kind of lighting they chose to do. It's a solid blue. I love the blue, really cool. But they didn't really get like super close with him. But you see all of these lights here. You didn't see those in the beginning, remember? You didn't see that. It felt like everything came from the sky. And I think that would have really helped in this case here. And there's a particular light that is used in this near the end of this that I think if they had that light to follow him, it would have been really cool. Really cool moment. But here it feels like this environment, yes, it showcases, is it supposed to be dark? Is it supposed to be, it's just a different color, which I think is fine. Now this, we have it's all now turned to red, but look, I'm telling you, lighting influences how things look, because you saw how this stuff looked in the beginning. It looked freaking epic. Yes, we had fog. However, some of that fog was not there, and I still appreciated what the scenery was when the fog wasn't there. But now look, because of the harshness of the lighting and how they have the lighting set up, it makes it feel like this is not, it's just stuff on the floor. It doesn't look as efficient or environment setting because of all of these little things that we're seeing that we're not really supposed to see, right? So I think it could be a mix of lighting choices could have been better. Sliding through is cool, but instead of having it just a full wash of red, having it drop out and where you see and you follow or you just set up the time. Does that make sense? I really feel like we could have taken a different advantage outside of a full wash. I don't blame the groups for any of it. I'm just trying to help provide some sense of clarity because we are having off-balance stages. I'm trying to bring some clarity as to why that could feel that way, not just because some groups had a lot more props. That is a factor. I'm recognizing that, but that's not the only thing. I'm just noticing that there are huge differences in the camera op and lighting choices as well. And so far, song arrangements sound really cool, you know, and then you have your dancers. That was a nice little moment, but notice the camera didn't really catch that. He's running. Really cool moment here, right there, but notice the camera's so far away, and I love this choice. Love that. That was super dope. Bring it through, you have your dancers on the side, turning through. Love the environment, the slide through, which is cool. Around, amazing on the martial arts side. I really appreciate that. The there, the stab through. Love that. They're running across, they jump, and then they fall. That lighting right there. Do you see this? That type of environment. Look at the environment setting of this. This is freaking epic. All by itself. You could put like Chuck E. Cheese or somebody up in the screen. I wouldn't care. Like, I love this. This is the kind of lighting that would have really helped with what was happening in the forest. I firmly believe that. And because you don't want people to see what you don't want them to see. And these camera people are not doing as good of a job on that as I wish we could have done. Now this, in this case, we see it, he drops it, he takes this off, and then you have your dancers. You have them all on the floor. They all come in. There's your little like flower petals. Then you see the production in the back too. And then we're starting to sing once again. We have the flower petals. It just, then you have everybody standing. That's cool. Would this have been really cool in that forest environment? I personally think so. I think we could have just taken that forest and ran with it across the entire freaking stage. Made the whole environment a forest. But also, you gotta have room to dance. I get it. And then you have them sing, and then you have, it's just, you have a full bloom, a full blossom. It's beautiful, but also you can see the dead trees in the back. These would have been really good if they were placed in front of that right there. Cover that bad boy in with the white. That would have made it feel really good. And then you have some lifts happening, a lot of action happening. I think the pan around is just not ideal for this, because you see this environment is really pretty, but you still see the remnants of the previous stage, right? They're not, it just feels like it's blacked out. And what was different is, you notice with the boys, the glaciers went from blue to red. So they set up, like, all the lighting had an intention and had a place for it. Here, it's not helping as much. And we only have little baby petals. Let it rain, production. Let that stuff fall, you know? I love it. It's dainty. I think this would have been really nice to have earlier, you know, like the little flowers like I had mentioned. This is pretty. And then we have the dancers doing some little step touches, which feels disconnected from all of this elegant fusion cultural movement that we saw earlier. So that's why it probably feels a bit disconnected. If it doesn't feel disconnected for you, I cannot wait to hear your perspective on it too, because it does feel that way to me. Just the difference between this battle and then all of a sudden we're back to this reprise of a chorus. Take it, they all pan away. And then they walk. And it just zooms out. So now, like, this was really pretty seeing this here. They could have done a reveal, something along those lines. Those things can roll. We've seen it. And then they walk back. Now for this, what could the camera do to really help? No, we don't have as much fog. They could have taken an opportunity to pump out more of that fog to make it more of a moment, but also the fog could mean more like desperation or more negative emotion. So maybe I understand why maybe not having fog here. That could help with this, but not having the camera be on the floor, but instead have it start where their feet are and move up. So there's like little things like that that could really help with how this looks. Like, look, like that right there. Freaking gorgeous. Look at this. It's so pretty. And then we have it finish up. Cool. Love it. Like, this whole little ending is so freaking cool. but it's just, they made it look too dead back here. Like, oh, we're not using that yet, so we ain't got to see it. We could have totally easily have covered that with what we currently have, you know? So there's little things like that that I think could have really helped make this stage look so much more captivating than it was. And am I excited, out of all the groups, excited to see behind the scenes of stuff? It's with this group, because they are right on my lane of humor. So I cannot wait to see how they act in the behind, like when they're watching other groups, as well as whenever they have their own personal take. I love the fact that they go live on this. I love that martial arts moment. Did it feel like it was cohesive 100% of the way? Unfortunately, I can't say that. But I felt that way about icons. Everyone has freedom of art. This is a theater version, so it does give off that kind of aesthetic, which I appreciate. So I would just kind of put this one, I'll just put it over here on my, I'm putting on my paper anyway, but it's just, I don't quite know where to place them yet until I see more. But for right now, those are my notes with this. I think they did a fantastic job nonetheless, though.